good morning, family. Welcome to another edition of Middle Economic News. Alright, family, the time is about 4:13 in the morning. I'm just about getting ready to head out for work. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, we're going to start off with pre-market news. Alright, this is from CNN Business. Okay, pre-market trading. Looks like we're up across the board. We're going into the week ahead. Alright, let's U.S. futures. The S&P is up about 41.35 points, or about almost 1.5%. The Nasdaq is up about 123.75 points at a 1.36%, and the Dow Jones is up. The futures is up about 344 points at about just under 1.5%. So it looks like we're going to open the markets up today, all up, all up the trade. All right. Let's take a look at some of the overseas markets. Okay, then they're up. They should be up just about getting ready to. If they're not closing, they're gonna be getting ready to close, because most of the time, remember, we're hours behind them. So the Nikkei is up. Nikkei, that's the Japanese stock market. She's up about just about 0.5%. The Hang Seng, which is the Hong Kong market, she is up about just over 0.5% and was 0.59. FTSE 100, that is England's, she's up at about just under 2.5%, and the DAX, which is German, she is up about 2.70%. All right. Let's look at some of the commodities. Crude oil is up about $31.02 a barrel. She's up about just over 5%. Natural gas is up at about $1.72. That's an increase about 4.37%. And as of right now, if you're in the precious metals, gold is up. It's up about 0.82% at about, it's shifting about around $1,770.80. All right. Sorry about that, family. And corn is up at about $320.75 a bushel. All right, so we're switching over here to seekingalpha.com, seekingalpha.com, and we're going to be looking at let's look at some of the cryptocurrencies here. Bitcoin is up by 2.2%, Ethereum 5.6%, XRP 1.1%. The USDT to US dollar, the tether, is flat at 0%, and the Bitcoin Cash is up 4.4%. All right, family. All right, let's take it down. We'll look at some bonds. The bond market is in tatters right now. It's barely hanging on to what's going on. All right, family. So the bond market that is issuing debts. If you ever have a Treasury bond certificate, that is an instrument of debt, okay, and it has to take time to mature. All right. High yield bonds, they were up 3.6%. The 20-year plus Treasury year bond ETF is down about 0.5%. The aggressive U.S. bond is the Vanguard total bond market is up about 0.7%, and the Spider, that is the Bloomberg Barclays International Treasury Bond ETF, electronic traded funds. ETF is electronic traded funds. International government bonds is up 2.3%. And then you got the iShares TIPS bond ETF, that is US TIPS, that is up 1.1%. All right, family. All right. So as of right now, we're switching over to www.kitco.com. This is precious metal sites. All right, we're looking at crude oil. They got a site KGX. The crude oil really jumped from $1.60. That's an increase about 5.16%. All right. All right, we'll take a look at some more precious metals. In the Keiko 10 a.m. silver fix. Silver is up about 0.6% to about $17.21. Palladium is up plus 31 points to about $813. Now that was platinum. I'm sorry, platinum is up about $813 to $813 an ounce. Palladium is even right now worth more than gold right now. Palladium is $1,913 an ounce, and rhodium is at $4,500 an ounce. All right, family. All right, switching over to zerohedge.com. National debt clock is flashing a major red alert. The national debt clock is flashing a major warning red alert this morning while working on another article. I happened to glance at this indicator and recoiled in horror. While most people were unaware the national debt has exploded, it was brought my focus back from this subject. Many of us have watched the economy closely and trying to get our heads around the rapidly unfolding COVID-19 crisis or coronavirus at the impact of the trillions of dollars flowing into the financial system. America's debt has soared past $25 trillion and is now expected to leap by several more by the end of the year. Alright, family. This article was written yesterday, the 17th. And then if you go into the website zerohedge.com and find the article, national debt clock is flashing major red. Once you click on the image, and you will see the national debt clock, and it is absolutely true, family. I'll turn around and show you the total national debt. You can see that, family. The U.S. national debt is over $25 trillion and climbing. Alright. Now, if you hear people talking about unfunded debt and interest, here we go right here. Total U.S. interest paid. Alright. And then switch over here. Look at this, family. This is the total U.S. debt altogether. $77 trillion. Alright. We're operating in the red. Okay, family? Alright. So, if anybody tell you that the U.S. is in good standing, the U.S. national debt is at $25 trillion. But with the total U.S. debt, all the unfunded liabilities, everything that's coming in, student loan debt, student credit card debt, bank interest received, bank interest paid, everything, family, the U.S. is over $77 trillion in debt. Alright? Then we're going to switch over. Penney files for bankruptcy. This was as of Friday. This past Friday. Alright? Sometimes news comes out on a Friday afternoon, and most people don't even hear about it until Monday. Expect a big financial crisis when it hits. It's probably going to start on a Friday at night when nobody pays attention, and all of a sudden Monday morning on the East Coast, they'll hit it first. Central Time may be the last one to get the final warning, and then by the time the Mountain Time wakes up, it's pretty much over, and then when the West Coast gets worried about it, it is pretty much a done deal. Alright, Penney files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. And what may be one of the most bizarre bankruptcy filings in just hours after Penney stock was halted first thing in the morning when everyone was certain the company would announce it had filed for Chapter 11 pension, only to read in a bizarre 8K that the company had instead made a $17 million interest payment due on its secured term loan during the 5-day grace period. The iconic retail giant, or maybe not so giant anymore, an Anchor Mall tenant threw in the towel after all to what was a long, drawn-out, and painful period of fading into irrelevance. And just after 6 p.m., announced that it had filed for bankruptcy protection in the Southern District of Texas. They have a docket number 2. Docket number 20-20182. Alright? Penney joins the parade of retailers including Neiman Marcus, the iconic Neiman Marcus in Dallas. It was prominently featured in the movie with Cameron Diaz, Jamie Foxx, Dennis Quaid, and Any Given Sunday. Neiman Marcus, J. Crew, Stage Stores, who have all filed for bankruptcy this month. Other chains like Gap Inc., Nordstrom Inc. have recently raised billions of dollars in debt to ensure that they have the cash to weather this crisis and reopen stores, although it is unclear if they will survive in a bitter war of price-off chains like TJ Maxx and e-commerce giants such as Amazon.com Inc. Alright? So J.C. Penney's filed for bankruptcy. But family, if you've been to the malls even before this happened, you can tell a lot of retail stores weren't getting any business. Overpriced stuff and a lot of other factors came into play, family. So J.C. Penney is just in the long line of other companies that have filed for bankruptcy. All right. Alright, then we get to our final story for today. It's concerning the media, and this is what they're not talking about. But this story, Vice fires 155 journalists in latest rounds of layoffs. Alright, the media is being hurt by this too. They're having to force to lay off people. Alright, following in the footsteps of Quartz, BuzzFeed, Wired, and other struggling media companies using the virus as an excuse to make deep cuts, Vice Media is reportedly planning to fire 155 employees. Not lay off, they want to fire them. That's cold. Alright, the Wrap reports. It is obvious for more than 16 months now, ever since BuzzFeed laid off 50% of its staff early last year, after reopening sales growth was far below investors' projections, prompting the most of its backers to write down the value of its investors. They write down their investments and push the company to retool its flailing business strategy. Meanwhile, reports by rival media companies have found that BuzzFeed staff of highly paid journalists who recently formed a union to ensure that they could protect themselves from management teams that have overvalued their talent at every turn produced laughably little traffic. In fact, BuzzFeed's biggest traffic producer was an unpaid teenager from Michigan. Man, that's cold. This is harsh. Alright, so we're going to move down into the topic a little bit, okay? Although the company blamed the layoffs on the crisis, Vice warned during the last round of layoffs that deeper cuts into its international operations were likely to come. Late last month, Wall Street Journal reported that Vice was planning to lay off 300 employees, which would account for somewhere between 10 and 20% of its total staff. Alright, family. So the media is being hurt by this too. Everybody's blaming this virus. They blame the virus for every single thing in their mama. You catch a cold, they blame the virus. You have a heart attack, they say you have the virus. Now the media is using it as an excuse to say they have to lay off staff because not many people coming to work. But truth be told, family, we all know that a lot of these mainstream media outlets have been hurting for years now, and now they're starting to lay off people. All right. They don't do journalism anymore. They don't really look for stories anymore. They don't dig into them. So this is why they're having to force to lay off people because, let's face it, family, we have issues. We have a major issue with the media. We have major issues with everything in this country and most part of this world. So, just want to let you know, family, that stay safe and we'll be good. Alright? Thank you for joining for another edition of Melanie Economic News. Alright, family. Let's get through this darkness together. Alright? Let's get it started.